A very special edition of Friedman Adventures Live. I am coming to you live with some breaking news. This is going to be the evening briefing for you all, as there's been some development since the time that we talked to you this morning on the morning briefing. And don't forget, the morning briefing has so much information for you every single day. You can go back and check on that if you want to hear about a 320-pound yellowfin tuna, some great white sea bass fishing. We cover all of Mexico and so much more. It's on the morning briefing for you all right now. Don't forget, hit that like button. Please share these videos with a friend. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. And also, if you could subscribe to the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel, we deeply appreciate that. Don't forget, tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there's new content. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcast, and Spotify. It would be great for you to do that. Mr. Martinez says hello, and I send all my very best back to you, my friend. There has been a collision at a tackle warehouse invitational fishing tournament in Alabama. I believe it's in Alabama, and it has resulted in at least 3 dead and several other injuries. So I wanted to bring that news, that very, very sad news, and just let everybody out there know that we are definitely keeping you in our thoughts and prayers. That is for sure. Job wants to know if we have any space on the El Patron charter you got going. We are postponing Friday's trip because they're putting new engines in there, Job. So we are postponing that trip until a future time. I'm waiting to hear if the dates I submitted have been approved, and then we will let you know. And then there might be some people who aren't able to make the new trip, and we'll get you on there for sure. We would love to have you. The El Patron is putting new engines in the boat, so once they get that all settled in, she's going to purr like a cat on her daily trips to Catalina Island. Michael Burke, it's sure good to see you, Michael. Thank you so very much. Good evening to you. And Colder Ice, what a great product. Chris Rank, Chris, good evening, my friend. You got a Job, no problem at all. Big 30-pound halibut down on the Dolphin, too. Mr. Tony caught that fish. I believe he's a veteran, so we thank him so much for his service. He's been going on the Dolphin for many, many years, and he had a nice big halibut down that way. I also have information. I just talked to the Royal Star a moment ago. I'm going to tell you about some great fishing they've got going on, but I want to talk also about the Independents. They were on bluefin tuna this morning. They continued catching. I don't have their final numbers, but by tomorrow's morning briefing, we should have more information. The Independents is fishing about 1 day, day and a half range from San Diego, it sounds like anyway. And they're on a grade of bluefin that's in the 15 to 30-pound class. You have got to fish lighter line to get a bite. They are very finicky right now. The fish that is, they're very, very finicky. So like some guys are fishing 20-pound and a super good hot bait. Other guys are getting bit on 25, and a few are getting bit on the 30. A small hook, like a number 6 size hook. And man, you want to definitely be choosing a smoking hot bait, in the words of Cliff Hughes, who fishes on our charters all the time. Super great guy. So they're on that fishing. Some other guys are getting involved in that. There's been kelp patty, yellowtail offshore. Also, the San Diego's been catching lots of big bonito, and they've been catching a few yellowtail. But other guys like the Intrepid here recently had limits of yellowtail, and the Polaris Supreme on a 3-day trip had 205 kelp patty yellowtail, most of it small, 4 to 10-pound grade fish. Jason Lawler, who is the expert chef on board the Amigo and a dear friend of mine. We're planning a Mexico adventure, hopefully in May. We're going to head down there. I've got some work to do down there, and Jason wants to go across, so we'll see if we can't make that happen. And Jason, of course, on the Amigo, they've had some good days of white sea bass fishing. Jason also has his own private boat and goes out quite regularly, loves lobster fishing, but now he's focused in on the game fish like yellows and white sea bass. Speaking of white sea bass, before I tell you about the Royal Star, we've seen some very good results here recently. The Endeavor limiting out on white sea bass quite regularly up there out of Ventura Sport Fishing. Speaking of Ventura, you can go back and listen listen to the live interview I did with Captain Daniel Hadaway just a moment ago. Well, actually, several hours ago, but we did a live update. He talks about the Channel Islands and talks about what he's got coming up, including on the Island Spirit up there out of Ventura Wednesdays. They're going to focus on halibut. They're going to just do the halibut thing. They're going to leave an hour earlier, and then they are going to focus solely on halibut on Wednesday mornings. Make sure you check 805-676-3474. Jason says he can't wait to get out Friday night, and then next week is starting to look busy. And Jason will tell you, I know how it is. I was in that part of the business as a young man working on the boats, and it's like, man, can we please get out? Come on, people, they're biting. Can we get out? And then about September, you're like, geez, can we please get a break? Oh my God, every day we're out. So I know exactly where you're at right now, Jason. I get it, and there's some awfully good fishing. We just mentioned that Endeavor's had limits. The Aloha Spirit today had limits of white sea bass. The Gray Light, a great six-pack yacht. Both those boats out of Cisco Sport Fishing in Oxnard. My friend Matt Slurf was out on the Mirage and raved about the crew just the other day. And Matt said, Phil, here's the deal, man. Drop her loop. Drop her loop. Make sure you got enough weight. Sometimes 6 ounces, sometimes 8 ounces, sometimes 12 ounces. Drop her loop, live squid, or fresh dead squid down off the bottom. And that is the way to really make things happen. So once again, some really good sea bass fishing. And when we come off a full moon, so we had the apex of the full moon. When we come off that full moon, many times about 3 days after is when the sea bass really like to bite. I asked Tucker McCombs that very question several years ago up in the wheelhouse of the Endeavor. And he said, man, that 3 days after that full moon, this stuff really likes to bite. I'm thinking another big day tomorrow. Susan Sosa, who is a magnificent person. Hey, Phil, thank God you sound better and not sniffling sick. Hey, Susan, that was like a one-day blip on the radar. I think I still have a little something because I'm not my normal energetic, 18-hour-a-day self. I'm down to like 17 and a half hours. But thank you so much for thinking of me. I really, really appreciate it. Tim Marquez. I've been talking a lot about Tim lately. Such a good guy, such a great guy. The tax man is with us. Oh, that's right. I've been mentioning Tim's going to be down in Laredo sometime here really, really soon, fishing yellowtail and just enjoying that beautiful Baja venue. I absolutely am crazy about Laredo. My friend Andrew Deal is down there with his kids right now, and they're having great success on the yellowtail. And they're a couple of Catholic guys, or a Catholic family, so they're going to go to that really historic church. And believe me, you can feel the history when you walk into Nuestra Senora de Loreto. I think the Jesuits founded that church in the 1700s. It's a beautiful place, and man, what a great place to celebrate Easter. I'm jealous, Andrew. That should be good. Scott Buchert, who was down there in San Diego, a day at the docks, entertaining me, putting me in headlocks, and generally beating the heck out of me. Scott, good to see you. I'm goofing around with you, and Jason sends his best to you also. Just got off the horn a moment ago with Diego Nuno on board the Royal Star. He's at Alijos Rocks on an 8-day trip. I said, give me the info, man. How's it going there? And he said, Phil, we have had absolutely tremendous fishing on 60 to 90-pound yellowfin tuna. Really great fishing on the yellowfin tuna. The same stuff that we found down there on an 8-day trip last November, so it's still there. And let me tell you how good that bite is. It is phenomenal. And Diego said it was really, really good. Full speed on the big yellowfin tuna, big being 60 to 90 pounds. I know we just had a 320 over there on the Royal Polaris, but those are nice grade yellowfin tuna, no doubt about it. And then he said if that wasn't enough, Diego said the yellowtail fishing was not only really, really good, but it was big fish, like 30 to 45 pound yellowtail. Just an extraordinary bite. Doug Tilk, who is an extraordinary human being. He doesn't want me to say that, but I'm saying it anyway. Helps out in so many different ways. Evening, Phil. What's up, Jason? Good luck fishing this season. Where's Scott? He's right there for you, Doug. If you want, I'll send him over. I'll get an Uber and shoot him over to your place. Chad, Christopher, Klein got back from Island Fishing Tqckle, geared up for the India Monday. Chad, I will see you there. That's going to be fun. Laredo is coming up next Monday. Tim Marquez is going to be down there the day you leave on your 5-day trip. Good luck, and same to you, Tim. I know you're going to have a really good trip down there. The yellows are biting. It's a special place. The food is great. I can't say enough about fishing down there in Loreto. That should be good. No, Teresa Sardina. What's up, Phil? What's good fishing charter in Ensenada? I'm trying to schedule a day trip. Any charter recommendations? I don't want to leave anybody out, but let me just name some that I know are top notch, and hopefully I won't leave anybody out. Blackfin sport fishing, absolutely great. I have not fished with Mara sport fishing, but I've heard nothing but great stuff. Sammy Susare out of Sergio Sport Fishing. Sammy does a great job, has a nice little yacht down that way. There's several other guys that do just a great job out of Ensenada. That's 3 for you. And no, if you need some more help with that, just send me a text, 657-227-6459, and I'll get you tuned up on that for sure. It would be my pleasure. Who else could I tell you down there? Well, I mean, you could book with Foca, and that is Paulina's captain. You can reach out to Paulina on Paulina Fishing Life on Facebook, and she'll hook you up with Foca, and that should be great. By the way, September 19th to the 21st, that weekend in Ensenada, Paulina and I are going to host you all down there to fishing, wine tasting, walking around the city, and eating where the locals eat, and shopping and so much more. If you want information on that, want to join us, get on the list, 657-227-6459. Jason Waller says he was at Catalina Island yesterday, and fishing was decent. I've seen some nice big sea bass coming out of Cat, and that is good to see. I would love to see that island go off this year. We've got fish up there in the Channel Islands. We've seen fish at Nicholas and Santa Barbara, Catalina Island. Man, it is looking so good right now. And Mackie wants Jason to divulge where he was catching them. I would never, ever tell you it was the backside of Catalina Island. Oh, shoot. Nice going there, Jason. East End. And he may tell you the back or the front, but there's been some pretty good fishing on the back over there, no question about it. Niels Daniels, what boats did you crew on during and what years? Oh, my God, that's going to be a tough one for me, but let me try, Neil. So started on the Redondo Special in 72 when I was a pinhead kid. I worked on the Mascot, whatever it was, I don't remember, 6, 4, with Joe Schilling on the biggest day in the history of local bluefin tuna fishing out of Redondo Beach. We had 118 bluefin tuna fishing right next to the Topaz Rock Jetty. I worked on the Queen of the Sea with John Dipley. I worked on the Grande with Dipley. I worked again on the Redondo Special with Barney Barnes and with Jerry Fuller running that boat. Joe Schilling was running the boat in those days also. I know I'm leaving some guys out. I worked with Pat Conklin and Mike Conklin on several boats. Those guys are the best. I worked on the Searcher out of San Diego. Frank Lopreste was running the boat most of the time. Al Rich was his second captain. And of course, Leroy and Norm Kagawa were on deck, took my brother Paul and I under their wings, and really treated us well, Niels, and really tutored us. And then I ran the Thunderfish, which was a little commercial boat out of Redondo for a couple seasons. My brother Paul and I ran that. We fished principally Tanner Cortez, fishing rockeye, but you know, every once in a while we'd hear those guys down in San Diego come up on the radio and start talking about 2 jigs and a bait fish, just had a stop for 20 albacore. Yeah, we're going again. Oh, just got another stop here for 12 albacore. My brother and I are looking at one another, and we're just like, man, let's go for it. And so a few times we would ditch the rock cut and head out to go catch some albacore if they were fairly close. We had albies a few times there right on Tannerbank High spot. Actually, circling, we watched albacore. They were circling some what we thought were bait fish. And when we got up on it, and by the way, Rick Effinger, who owns Marina Del Rey Sport Fishing, was there. And we got up on top of it. It was these small little bocaccio, little salmon grouper. And the albies were feeding on that. And man, we were basically lift pulling albacore after we already caught a bunch of rockfish out there. So I think that about does it. You know, I filled in a few times on the Qualifier 105 and a few other rigs, probably forgetting some guys right now, but that gives you a little bit of that history. By the way, I was just on a show called a podcast on YouTube. Check it out. Rifles, Rods, and Broads. And broads is not what you think it is. I forget exactly what it is. It's a term that they use in shooting sports, I think. So screwed up on that. But rifles, rods, and broads, check it out. I just did a podcast, talked a little bit more about that kind of stuff. You might find that interesting. So there you go. Sweet deal. Thank you. Sounds good. Looking forward to it. Yeah, you'll have fun in Ensenada. I guarantee you're going to have a lot of fun. Where did Scott Bucher go? Mackie, you know Scott. He's a little shy. You called him out, and he ran away. And so if he doesn't come back on here, he's been asking me to call him subtly today, like maybe 463,000 messages. If he doesn't come back on here, I'm not going to return his call tonight. Oh, look at that. Man, I'll tell you, like just instant. Jason Cutter, let's see. Broad herd arrows used for hunting. Thank you so much. All right, there you are. At least there's somebody. Jason knows what he's talking about. And I'm sorry, broadhead arrows used for hunting. God bless you, Jason. It doesn't take much to be smarter than the host of this show, let me tell you. But you have exceeded me once again. You have an incredible memory. Thank you, sir. Oh, my God. Sometimes I wonder about that, but thank you very much for the question. I appreciate that. Scott looks in the shadows like Scott lurks in the shadows. Man, I got to get my eyes fixed here. It's kind of dark on my phone, and I don't want to push the light up on the phone because I'm afraid I'll lose you all. Scott Buchard and Mackie are kissing and making up. Not that they had anything to make up about. All right, I do know that Anthony, who helps us so much here at Friedman Adventures, surf fished in Surfside today, and I don't think he caught a fish. In fact, he wore a hole in his finger. He made so many casts with a Lucky Craft lure. He said nothing for him, but he talked to a few guys who had a few small perch down there. So that is it. Cue ball. Whoa, where in the heck have you been hiding? It's good to see you. Who got the sea bass? Pops. Pops is right. Cue ball, I know a few scores that have come in, and of course, I'll special update later. I know the Aloha Spirit with limits. I believe the Endeavor limits. I know the Gray Light had limits of sea bass. So really, really excellent fishing going on. Cue ball went back to work. Yeah, man, we missed you. That's a good thing, I'm sure, for you, but we did miss you, no doubt about that. Really great fishing down there at Lehos Rocks. We've seen a lot of changes here in this past week. Remember, it was about 10 days ago when we were in a weather pattern that just was miserable. The water was cold. And then all of a sudden, we get into spring and we get a halfway decent weather pattern combined with a good moon phase right now. And the water is starting to slightly warm up under the influence of a southern swell, as well as the La Nina now being called neutral, so not cooling any further. And all of that seems to be really, really good. You know, on the Native Sun today out of 22nd Street Landing, they had live squid for bait. They had no fin bait. I believe the bait receiver just got a load of fin bait in, meaning sardine and or anchovy. But today they fished straight live squid. I think they had one legal halibut on board the Native Sun here today. All right, my friends, what can I tell you? It is always such a pleasure to spend time with you. Of course, the morning briefing will be here before you know it. Before I know it, I actually go to bed thinking, man, Can't wait for that cup of coffee. I can't wait to get up and break some news. Doug Ruben from the Barco El Sueño. Hello, Phil. Sorry I missed you in San Diego at the docks. Me too, Doug. It would have been nice to have seen you. Starting to catch Big Bonito and Yellowtail. Come on down soon. Doug, I know, man, those kelps are sounding juicy down that way. Sounded very, very interesting to all of us. Thank you for the update. Really appreciate it. Next time I'll see you. I'll be in San Diego, by the way, shooting you all live updates from the mighty Independence. I'll be getting on the Independence with Chad Christopher Klein and a host of others. Starting on Monday, the day after Easter, we'll be jumping on board and heading out. And who knows what might happen between then and now. Anything can happen, and I'm excited for it. All right, my friends, I can't thank you enough for being here. God bless you. Take great care of yourselves, and I'll see you for the morning briefing tomorrow. Keep you up to date on everything. Live updates coming in from the Independence when I'm on there during that week, so make sure you have ticked the bell so you're notified when we catch the first albacore of the season. Yeah, right. Maybe I'll do my albacore. Yes, there you go. We are going to do my albacore forecast from the Independence. I might post it when I get back in because uploading something long like that is difficult, but we will talk to Captain Brian Pfeiffer and get his input and then put out an albacore update. All right, Q-Ball says he's in for that first albacore. We'll see if we can make that happen. Hey, take care. Please, if you don't mind, hit that like button. Share these videos with a friend. That's how we grow, and we can't grow without your help. We really appreciate that. And don't forget, check us out on Facebook. Friedman Adventures on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Have a great evening. Take care, and I hope to see you really, really soon.